Relocalization and the application of ecological principles have been touted as solutions. While policymakers have an academic discussion about food insecurity, it made a harsh reality even more so with the advent of the coronavirus pandemic. We speak to businessman Buiseni Blai, who helped child-headed households stave off hunger during this period. He joins us now. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So, tell us about the children that you are helping. Just first paint a picture of what kind of circumstances we're talking about.
We are referring to children that are staying in in child-headed houses, or if not so, they are being taken care of by senior citizens who happen to not be getting maybe the pension fund due to not having the proper documents, your identity documents, or merely because they can't get the assistance they need in order to access such funds.
And what areas are these, Mr. Blai? What challenges do they face?
These kids are based in the township of Langrach in Franschhoek, and the challenges they actually face, because my first encounter with them was with my business, as a Godfather's Fried Chicken. I would find out that they visit my shop and buy the chips. Back then, it was a 5 rand kind of a package, and then the time would be 10 o'clock, which is it's time that they should be at school. So when I would ask, why are you not at school? They would say they do not have shoes. That would be the common answer from them. So what we did, we decided to kind of like take about 20% of our profits and then invest them, in fact, channel them into a donation that we kind of like formed due to those circumstances. So basically, in our first attempt, we achieved 20 pairs of shoes, and then we appealed to larger community via Facebook and the surroundings. And then people would donate more, and then we then decided to package those and donate quarterly every year. So from March, we would donate those school shoes. But we figured that is not enough. And then the kids are wearing these school shoes, and then we'd expand their program into school uniforms. But they go to school, they come home, they eat at school, but when they come home, they've got nothing to eat for supper, which we then realized that, okay, cool, we can't do much besides this 20%. Then we decided that we're going to add Christmas lunch. So every 25th of December, we kind of like take a portion of about 25 takeaways and then donate to the kids. That wasn't enough still. So I appealed to Lynn, who's handling our PR, and then I said, can we get some hands?
I want to get a little bit more of a sense of these children. When we talk about child-headed households,
cool.
the ages, for instance, how old are they, and how did they end up being in this situation?
Okay, let me talk about the current ones we are like actually dealing with right now. It's about 5 kids ranging from age 7 to age 12. They're not basically from child-headed homes. The other 2 with parents who have passed on are being taken care of by 2 elders, which is as 2 senior citizens who are not earning grants. And then when I asked about that, they do not have the identity documents to access such. So basically, the ages is 7 and 9.
What happens to children who don't have the good fortune of meeting a businessman like you, a philanthropist like you, who's saying, this is what we're going to do with our profits? What is left for them? Where would they get food, if they do get food at all?
Chances are they're going to end up being what we as the community would like to refer as street kids, which I completely disagree, because I've never seen a street being pregnant. So I don't know of the proper label to say to actually like address them as, but we commonly refer to them as street kids, and then they would end up maybe trying to find means through stealing, and maybe to kind of deal with such stress and embarrassment, find refuge in drugs. You understand? So with such programs like these, I would like to encourage other business people and fellow creatives, because I'm also an actor. So I would like to kind of like encourage fellow creatives to kind of chip in, and business people to chip in and do the legal that they can in order to curb that, especially in these trying times post-COVID-19. It's not even post-COVID-19. We're still within the period. So this pandemic has dented a whole lot of pockets, because I remember finding myself not being able to achieve what I usually achieve in normal days. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So basically what I'm trying to kind of like urge my fellow citizens to do is to kind of like share from the legal that they have in order to stop a child from being a drug addict, from being a street kid in a sense.
All right. Thank you so much. Businessman and philanthropist Mbuyiseni Mplayi putting out a challenge to other businesses out there and other citizens to take up the cudgels to feed a child. The child-headed households that he spoke about, children as young as 7, some who've been left orphaned or are living with senior citizens who have obviously no access to an income themselves if it's not a child grant, but the inability to work to put food on the table. You saw that story by my colleague Mariketla Mohlabi of children, of parents who are doing their most to go out there and get food for their children, working hard, but there is no work. So take up the challenge, if you will. At 2000